everybody. It is Shelly Hoffman here, and I am blessed to have Donna, who is the director of Meals on Wheels, and Elena, who is the vice president of Meals on Wheels. And we are lucky here in Baldwinsville that we have your program. So Donna, can you give us the honor of telling us a little bit about Meals on Wheels, and then we'll kind of get into more detail about it?
Okay, well, we started in 1971. It started delivering to 6 clients in somebody's kitchen in Baldwinsville. And we expanded, we're over 100 clients now. And we delivered to Liverpool is one of our routes. We deliver to Baldwinsville, Lysander, Warners, Jacks Reef, Phoenix, any surrounding areas we have to go to, we go to.
So I'm just kind of curious. I mean, obviously I've talked a little bit about Meals on Wheels with you, and but where's the next Meals on Wheels at? I was thinking it was just Baldwinsville, but you just mentioned some of the surrounding areas as well.
Well, yes, we're all separate entities. There's North Syracuse, Camillus, Fayetteville. So we're all separate entities. We're all our own place.
Okay. So that's great. That's a lot of people that you guys are servicing. And Elena, you had mentioned before we went live that when I think of Meals on Wheels, I think of senior citizens, but you said that's not really always the case. True?
Right. What I wanted to make sure your viewers understood, we have residents that use our services when they're recovering from surgery. And lately with COVID, people that are needing to be quarantined, they've used us for short periods of time. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that people knew it wasn't strictly for seniors. We have all types of people that reach out to us.
How does one sign up for Meals on Wheels or get more information?
They just call us, and we, if they call up, we can sign them up the next day or the same day. It's just an application over the phone.
Is there requirements that you need to meet in order to qualify for Meals on Wheels?
No, we have no waiting list or anything. We've had people 18 years old recovering from surgery on our program too.
Oh, nice. I think you're right, Elena. I think that's good information to have, because I know when I think of the people in my life that have used Meals on Wheels, whether it was here or in Pittsburgh, they were always senior citizens. So yeah. Not only you are the vice president, though, you're also one of the drivers. Can you give us a kind of a rundown of how that looks and works for the people?
Well, I have one of those routes that encompasses quite a bit of territory. I only have a few people on a regular basis, but the route is very widespread. So from start to finish, it takes me, a couple of hours. I have a few folks on there that we've been delivering to for years, and they're dear to me. They're super people. Sometimes we're the only faces they see during the day, our elderly. Some love to chat and visit, and I love to visit right back with them. I get as much joy out of that as they do. Some of them just want their food, and we exchange pleasantries briefly, and that's it. That's fine. But it's so very rewarding, so much fun. My husband recently retired, so now I have a chauffeur, which makes it fun. Yeah, so he's gonna chauffeur me to my stops.
And somebody had said too, and I apologize, I've had quite a few conversations about Meals on Wheels through COVID, because you guys have done such a great job, that really it's almost like checking in on people as well, because they may not have anybody else that checks in on them. So that's part of what you do.
Yes, that's what we do. Our drivers will check in on them we've been open through the whole COVID. Since COVID started, we never shut down. But our drivers have found people on the floor. We've saved lives. We even found some people passed away. So it's very hard. And we have drivers that will go to the grocery store or to the bank or to the library or get their mail, shovel their sidewalk. Our drivers are wonderful.
So where do you get your funding from? Where does we
don't get no federal funding or anything like that. I do grants. Some clients are self-pay, some are on the PACE program, some are on Essentia Health, or we just do fundraising for those who can't afford to pay.
Some of us
So how-
remember us in their wills
Wow.
leave money to us, to the organization.
Endowments, yes, they do. We have that happen a lot.
So I'm assuming, just like most organizations with COVID, your fundraising has taken kind of a hit this year. Were you able to do any of your fundraisers?
Well, oh, sorry. Well, we had, our fashion show was scheduled for in the spring, and that was like shut right down because of the center being shut down. And then we had, we were gonna do a Father's Day breakfast with the Lions Club, and we couldn't do that. So, we did a pork dinner, and we did a pork sandwich dinner, drive-throughs, and we did fantastic, like over 100 dinners each time within 2 hours.
The mayor had mentioned that in one of our talks, and he said that the food was amazing, and then he thought that the fundraiser itself was a success. So, I mean, that's just being creative, right? Thinking outside the box a little bit.
Right, right. But our fashion show would have been great because we had like 15 models from age 13 to 97, which is Grandma June, which is our oldest.
I know Grandma June. We do at Rotary, we do a Christmas in July, or like a picnic at Canton Woods, and she is a hoot and a half. So that, you're right, that would have brought some people in.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've been very fortunate with the response outside the community. I think Donna posted early on that our cupboards were becoming a little bare. And later that same afternoon, she had an SU van pull up into our parking lot, because with the university closing down,
Yeah.
somehow or another, someone on Facebook saw that she had reached out to the community, and their response was almost instantaneous. It was
This
so wonderful.
community, yeah, this community just kind of rallies behind people. It's unbelievable. But if that was the university, I mean, the reach that we have, and
Right.
you know, it's just amazing itself. You have a drive going on right now, don't you, Donna?
Yes, well, we have our annual plea letter out, and then we have that went out in November. We get a great response from that, and we have a food drive right now going on. Yes.
How do people donate the food?
They just come to the kitchen door, or if they can't get to us, I'll go to them. Like I just went to some man in Radisson and picked up some canned food from him.
And for those of you that don't know, that are watching, you're located in Canton Woods, correct?
Yes, we are.
So is there a particular food that would be helpful if someone is watching this, they want to make a donation? Is there certain types?
Yes, like cereal, peanut butter, jelly, canned tuna, or canned chicken, or little box cereal, little things, juice, anything like that, Shelley. What it does is if we have to close because of the snow, we use that food to send them, so they got extra food on their shelves.
You call it your blizzard packets or something, am I correct?
Yes, we do. And we also send them some frozen meals too, extra food too.
Well, and that's obviously good. I would assume for the drivers, you want the drivers to be safe, making sure they can get out there to get to the people, and at the same time, you want the people that you're taking care of to be taken care of.
Right. Last year it was because the schools were closed, and that's when we had to close. But this year, if the roads are really bad, we can't have the drivers or our kitchen volunteers come. It's too hazardous for them.
What kind of meals do you make typically? If it's not a blizzard pack for the canned goods, what kind of food do people receive from Meals on Wheels?
Well, we do a 4 to 6 ounce piece of meat with a vegetable roll and some kind of rice or potato or something. And tomorrow they're getting a turkey dinner. We're doing a turkey dinner, full turkey dinner. And then Wednesday we're gonna do a ham dinner.
And do they get 2 meals? Is it like a hot meal and a cold? I'm trying to remember. A family member had gotten Meals on Wheels back in Pittsburgh, and I remember thinking it was pretty good food that was coming through. But I thought there was two meals per delivery, or am I wrong?
Yes, we do cold meal, which is sandwich, pudding or jello, fruit, and dessert. And about everybody on gets both of them every day. And we do weekend food too.
Nice. So Elena, you mentioned, we had said you were on the board, you're vice president. With everything going on, is the board still meeting? Are you guys doing Zoom meetings, or how are you moving forward?
Well, when the weather cooperated, we were able to meet out in the pavilion on the Canton Woods ground. It was, open. We were all distanced, but we have been relying on these Zoom meetings, which have worked pretty well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's just resilient. COVID hasn't shut a whole lot of things down. People have found a way when it's important to them to keep moving forward. So,
right. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
The board meets, we meet every 2 months, Shelley.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes.
Unless we have an emergency or something crops up, we can pivot, and act on whatever needs our attention.
With the COVID stuff, I'm sure there was quite a few meetings trying to figure out how things were going to change, or if they were going to change for you, right?
Right, because I'm, I think I might be the youngest person on the board. And so, we're older folks too. We have to be a little careful.
Well, delivering, you mentioned you deliver food. I'm assuming you have the mask, hand sanitizer, everything's being transferred back and forth safely.
Yes. And it makes it a little more interesting to communicate, because some of our older ones have a tough time hearing, on a usual basis, but with masked drivers, I've learned to pantomime and sign pretty well, so we can still communicate.
That is true, because often people read lips, and that's the issue with the mask.
Right. Yeah, it makes it a little more difficult. And we have one, can I mention her by name? She's 102, almost 103.
Yes, you can.
Mrs. Burnap. Yeah, she's something. She's on my route, and she's 102 right now.
Wow.
But we
The newspaper interviewed her too, and she said what keeps her going is her Meals on Wheels.
Well, you know what? I mean, obviously food sustains you, but it's the company. And I gotta believe that you would not be delivering meals to people if you didn't want to have that interaction, if you didn't want to have the connection with the people. Elaine, I don't know if you can tell or not, but your face lights up when you talk about the people you deliver to. You can tell you look forward to it. In the back of my head, though, I'm thinking of your husband, and I'm picturing my dad, who was not much of a talker, my mom, who would be saying, "Hurry up, Brenda, hurry up, Brenda." Hopefully your husband's not like that and tells you to take your time.
And that was Mrs. Burnap that mentioned it today. I told her about my chauffeur, and on occasion when the weather's nice, I bring my dogs. They sit in the back while we go from house to house. So she said to me today, "I bet your husband's a little more talkative than those dogs are." And you would be surprised. Not really, Mrs. Oh, yeah. So she's very quick-witted, makes me laugh.
Well, is there anything different this year with the holiday season that typically you guys were able to do that had to be tweaked or changed, or is it pretty much status quo through the holiday with you guys?
No, it's pretty much the same. We're just sending out more meals.
But we were unable to celebrate our volunteers as we normally do. We would have a big dinner. The Girl Scouts, they are there to help us out, and like everything else, we had to cancel that. So that's sad.
Yeah.
Because we would be nothing without our volunteers.
No.
Just that camaraderie in general. There's something that is missing when you Zoom as opposed to when you're in person. We talked about that in a couple different interviews and stuff that I've done. It's nice. It's great that we have the resource that we have. Imagine 100 years ago if this would have happened. Although people didn't talk, probably network as much as they did 100 years ago as we do now.
Right.
But it is nice to have it. So, well, is there anything else that you ladies can think of that's important for the community to know about Meals on Wheels? Any other way that we can help you to make sure that you can keep going nobody in our community is going hungry on your watch, just because it is a great thing that you do, and we all appreciate it.
Well, we've had a lot of help from the volunteer center and the Baldwinsville Help in Baldwinsville. They helped us a lot too. And the Lions Club, and I've gotten grants from GNC Foods and, different organizations that helped us a lot. Especially now we have a freezer that went, and our air conditioning is shot too. So, all this stuff is coming at once right before Christmas.
All our overhead. So we would never say no to monetary donations or shelf-stable foods. If you're in the neighborhood of Canton Woods, Donna, you're there till what? Usually 2 o'clock.
Yes.
1? You can stop over, knock on the door, and she'll gladly take whatever you care to donate in the way of shelf-stable foods.
And money's a donation that you can take as well, correct? Especially if it's something like the AC.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. It's nice that the food donations are nice and appreciated. I know that with the Christmas Bureau, sometimes the cash fills in the gaps, right? The things that you need that maybe are not the high donation pieces. So
right.
Tomorrow, Tucson Shelley's given us baked ziti for all our clients.
Wow, that is really, really nice of them.
And the money allows us to, from on occasion, we give our folks bags of toilet paper, paper towels. It lets us buy that kind of stuff, and we have to buy our food supplies. So.
Yes, we don't get it free. We buy all our food from Cisco.
Okay. Is that something that Tucson's has done in the past, or is that, obviously it's a family, but Mary comes to mind because of her videos when I think it's Tucson's.
First time.
Very nice. I'm just, the way this community has come together and everybody banding together is just, it's heartwarming. Forget about the holidays. It's been going on since March, April, May, June.
Yes.
This entire pandemic.
It's very heartwarming. Yes.
So, well, I appreciate your time and talking to the community. I know that, I always assume people know about Meals on Wheels, but I don't think you're well known. There's probably a lot more people that would benefit. And you said you didn't have a waiting list. So if anybody's watching this and it doesn't have to be a senior, but somebody that's kind of stuck at home and would benefit, they're eating oodles of noodles or whatever, goodness knows what they're eating.
That's not good.
And all the volunteers are rather personable in their own way. It takes a certain kind of person to do it, and we do it because we enjoy it.
Nice.
And we've been all safe. Nobody has had the COVID, and we're all been safe.
Right. And so if you like the company and would enjoy some food, please feel free to reach out and let us know.
Perfect. What just came to mind? We've been talking about ways people can help, but do you guys need more volunteers? Are you kind of full on your volunteers, or even is that something that somebody could help with?
We're actually full. I have a list of people wanting to volunteer. So yes, we're actually full. But
Isn't that a nice problem to have?
That is a great problem to have. Wow.
Never had that problem ever. And I've been there almost 20 years.
Wow. Well, and again, I'm not really surprised. I think one of the first things people did was how can I help? Adjust, adapt, and figure out our own lives, and then reach out to where else is help needed. So it's great that you have that, problem.
Yes, we have the children too from all the schools that help. The Girl Scouts, the Eagle Scouts remodeled our office and then made a shed over our freezer. So we have the children at school making cards and everything.
Decorating the lunch bags.
Yes.
And the people receiving those bags probably appreciate that so much.
Oh, they do. They really do.
Perfect. So, all right. Well, I hope you ladies have a wonderful holiday. If for some reason, I know, Donna, you're pretty good about getting out there on social media with your wants or needs, but if something pops up and you want me to throw it out on this platform, I try to share your stuff, but message me directly and we'll see if we can help you out as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Mary Shelley, thanks for the opportunity.
Sure. Yeah. I'm glad you guys wanted to. Bye.
Bye.